This is a McLaren MP44, one of the most famous racing cars to ever hit the track, only this one is not racing anywhere. No, it's been left to collect dust and rust on the streets of Dubai. It turns out that this is a common thing that happens in what the internet has dubbed the supercar graveyard, where thousands of impressive cars have been abandoned just like this one. Interesting, right? Let's take a deeper dive. The car that gets referenced the most when articles and videos get posted about Dubai's car graveyard is this dusty, broken down Ferrari Enzo. That's because these cars are super rare and super expensive. They only made about 400 of these special cars, named for Ferrari's founder himself. This masterpiece of design currently sells for over $3 million. Like most Ferraris, it has pretty impeccable specs. Well, it had impeccable specs. The Enzo hits a top speed of 217 miles per hour with a 0 to 60 miles per hour acceleration time of 3 seconds. So a Ferrari guy, looking at this abandoned work of art, collecting dust like it's a beat-up Ford truck in a junkyard is truly heartbreaking. This is a sad Pixar movie for car people. What really breaks my heart is this lineup of classic Rolls-Royce silver clouds that usually go for like 50 grand. They deserve to be in a museum or in a car show somewhere, and instead, they look like they're abandoned in a parking lot. At least they have other fancy cars to keep them company, I suppose. That would be the also impressive BMW 2002 Tii, worth like 100 grand. If they're in decent condition, which I kinda doubt, that's like 200 grand right there. It would almost be cool to see these cars grouped together if it were not for that last car in the lineup. These incredible rides are grouped together with what looks like a freaking $2,000 Buick Century, and not even a nice one. Come on, as if these cars have not been insulted enough. I actually kinda like this pic of an abandoned Jaguar XJ220. Sure, it's a car that's well worth over $400 that's been abandoned to collect dust, but it kinda looks like something out of Cyberpunk 2077. I think it's the futuristic design of the car with the degradation and desert climate behind. That, and it probably runs about as well as cars do in that game. There are also a surprising number of race cars that have been left to their sad end in Dubai. Just look at this $214,000 2016 Radical RXC GT3 Coupe. These cars are supposed to cruise at speeds over 178 miles per hour. This car doesn't even look like it has an engine to start anymore. It was designed to race in Le Mans or be one of the most extreme street legal rides out there. This McLaren MP44 is in a little bit better shape, though it is kinda weird to see a legendary race car that's been known to sell for over $3 million just sitting next to what looks like an apartment building. Once upon a time, this speed machine could hit 207 miles per hour. Yeah, won't be doing that anytime soon. Neither will this Acura NSX. The middle of this car looks like a marshmallow that got left in the fire a little too long. I didn't know that in a city as infamous for having almost no rain that you could get the kind of water damage this car has. It's definitely not in the kind of condition you see $1.1 million cars that can hit nearly 200 miles per hour. As bad as these racing cars look, honestly, they look ready to drive compared to what a couple of these decimated beauties look like in Dubai. Okay, I have saved the worst for last, and I'm just warning you, prepare yourselves. Some of these cars have been absolutely devastated. Just look at this Bugatti Veyron. This $1.9 million car is in truly terrible shape. It's so degraded, destroyed, and dusted up that even if you poured acid all over it, it would probably just take off a layer of dirt without wrecking it even harder than it already is. Then, there's one of the most iconic cars of the 70s and 80s, the Lamborghini Countach. Whenever I see one of these babies, I always think about the Wolf of Wall Street. And, well, this one got wrecked even harder than that one did. This thing is so broken that you gotta think whoever wrecked it probably rolled over a few times before it stopped. These things usually go for like $500,000. This one would probably go for like, what, $5? If you thought that Lamborghini looked sad, just wait. This picture of a Lamborghini Diablo left to rot in a field next to a herd of cows pretty much says it all about these abandoned cars. This $250,000 ride is basically one of the broken down tractors that you see in old farms. Now, seeing all of these cars in all these kinds of shapes makes you ask the question, right? How? How did this kind of thing happen? And well, that's a complicated answer. Before I get into that, take a second, if you can, to like and subscribe to see cars that actually get to run on the road where they belong. We have those kinds of videos here at The Richest. So why is a city as well known for being prosperous as Dubai also a graveyard for cars of such illustrious value? Well, Dubai may be well known for being a city of the future, but for those who don't make it in the big city, there are harsh consequences. You see, the city has absolutely no mercy for anyone who cannot pay their debts. It is a criminal offense to be late with payments, and the sentence can be years in prison. Prisons that have a reputation for being filthy, overcrowded, understaffed, and very dangerous. Over the years, people who have moved to Dubai only to get incarcerated have been all too happy to discuss their horror stories in interviews about sleeping on dirty floors, being attacked by other inmates, and struggling to manage with the legal system there. So it's no surprise that when one of the many in Dubai who think that they're gonna hit it big end up borrowing money for their dream ride only to go bust, they run as fast as they can to avoid the harsh penalties. So fast that they end up leaving their precious debt traps behind as they go. Exactly how common is this? I mean, we've seen a few cool rides in shambles, but can there really be over 1,000 of them out there? In fact, there are over 3,000 abandoned cars in the city, hundreds of which are worth a great deal of money. Or they would be if they were not covered in dirt. That means that you could potentially make off with a supercar for a not so super price, right? Well, this is a good news and bad news situation. Let's start off with the good news. There are actually quite a few auctions for these abandoned cars in Dubai. Some of the higher end auctions are said to be invitation only. Those are likely the sort of closed door affairs that they don't invite us to. Then there are the ones you typically see on YouTube. There are a ton of videos out there where people claim they have driven away in incredible cars for values as low as 500. Of course, videos like these are hard to verify. I can also find trailers for the new Avengers movie that's not supposed to come out until 2025, but that doesn't mean it's real. If you really want to find out for yourself, but you don't really want to fly all the way to Dubai, there are also online auctions available. Copart is a site that sells hundreds of beaten up or broken down cars for incredibly low values. Most of them are fixer-uppers though. Unlike those YouTube videos that show off pristine, albeit kinda dusty rides, these auction sites mostly have cars that have been ripped apart in wrecks or just degraded by sheer neglect. A lot of these cars look more worthy of a junkyard than they do your garage, or mine for that matter. There are also all kinds of fees on top of those great prices. You know, like shipping it to wherever you are. Yeah, that's been known to cost upwards of $3,000 or more. That's to get a car from Dubai to the United States alone. Might not be worth it for a car that looks like it's held together with tape and hope and nothing else. Though if you're like me and you think that it might be worth looking into, even if there's only a slight chance of scoring a great deal on a Ferrari, it's time for the bad news. The legal system in Dubai claims that an abandoned car has 15 days to claim it, otherwise the city takes it. Then they have another 6 months before it gets sent to auction. After that, things can sometimes be pretty murky. Is there a chance that you might try to score your dream car only to wind up in a tense legal battle with the car's owner, or heck, even the buyer that you trusted online? Yes, there is no way a lawyer who deals with that kind of thing is gonna be as cheap as that $3,000 shipping fee. That kind of thing may make me pump the brakes on all of this. Even if I would look awesome. I just can't stop thinking though about me driving around in my dream Ferrari Enzo telling everybody that, hey, I just paid $600 for this. I just won't tell them about the shipping and the lawyer fees. Okay. It is possible that there's a sneakier alternative to going the auction route to snatch one of these cars up. I gotta be honest, part of me has wanted to arrange a flight to Dubai with a power washer this whole time and save these beauties. Might be worth the airfare.